You're tuned into The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata at Black Hollywood Live, BHL's #1 source for all things cinema. Carla shoots straight from the hip with what's hot and what's not in the box office, the latest film news, and talent from above and below the line. Then let's get into it with your girl right now. This is The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata.
Hey, Miss Tina.
Hey, thank you.
So I'm going to go ahead. No problem. I'll go ahead and get it started. I'm Carla Renata, the Curvy Critic, as Gil said in the beginning. And I absolutely love this book that you wrote, the Little Book of Big Lies.
Yes.
I really, as someone who practices Buddhism, I could really connect with that. And I wanted to find out from you, when you hear when someone hears the word fitness, we oftentimes think about the physical instead of the mental. How do you go about impressing upon artistic people, especially us creatives, on how to embrace both in the process of this thing we call show business?
Right. That's a great question, Carla. And thank you so much for having read the book. The book was written from true passion and the desire to help us all live and be more fully alive. So to answer your question, if in fact we all were to tell ourselves the truth, and that's a phrase that I use quite often because it prompts us into a deeper, more authentic consideration. If we are to tell ourselves the truth, we each have experienced what I call hurts, dramas, traumas, upsets, and disappointments. And, you know, up until now, particularly in our culture, it has been practiced to not sort of acknowledge that as a truth, or to will ourselves beyond it, or just be strong and tough it out. Our history has taught us to do that. The problem with that is that if in fact we take color off of these nervous systems, the truth is that our nervous system is always telling us the truth. And hurts, dramas, traumas, upsets, and disappointments that are not resolved actually are energy that gets stuck inside of us. And that stuck energy, just imagine the power of a train, let's say, moving through and being stuck, but the engine not being turned off. So you've got all of that metal, all of that energy, that force pressing against who you are in any particular moment with no place to go, because that hurt, drama, trauma, upset, or disappointment was never fully given the time it needed to process so that the energy could move through. And so inner fitness, exactly like physical fitness, inner fitness is about being able to be aware and develop the mental, emotional, and spiritual awarenesses and practices that help energy inside of our bodies constantly and consistently process itself. And it can't do that without that being intentional. You cannot go to a gym and stand in the gym and actually have your muscles get, stronger and your body stronger and more erect by just standing in the gym. They're actual physical things that you must do to support your physical strength and resilience. And that is exactly the same case when it comes to inner fitness. There are things we haven't known these things, but I will tell you that these things are actually they're in books, they're in ancient philosophies. The answers have been here, but we have not been up until now because we are in new times. The conversation around mental health, that's a new mainstream experience, and it's just growing, and it's going to grow, and that excites me where Black folks are concerned in particular, but it excites me for the world, right? And we just need to be aware that if we, just like the people down in New Orleans, right? If we are not paying attention to the information that is real, then we will live our lives just getting through it, having to circumvent certain areas of ourselves so that we don't have to think or feel about the stuff that's uncomfortable. And that, to me, is not thriving. And I am committed to living my life so fully alive that when I die, that's what you get to put on my tombstone. She lived her life constantly moving into the greater parts of herself with the aim of being fully alive.
What kind of old painful event do you think bullies Aunt Vi?
Bullies Aunt Vi? Oh, that's a fantastic question. So, you know that in season 4, Aunt Vi finally has to deal with the abuse from her first husband, Jimmy Dale, okay? So here are the things that I knew about, that I had to build about Aunt Vi. I had to build her resentment at the only man prior to Hollywood that she could truly trust was her brother Ernest, and he got snatched away from her. She never had the opportunity to look her abuser in the face, you know, and take her power back from him. So that was stuck, mean, you know, unhappy energy inside of her. Hollywood came in, and his presence made a huge difference, but there was still that need to control, because she was out of control when she was in relationship with Jimmy Dale. And her response to these kids and to making sure that this family stays together is her passionate ride or die, not on my watch. She was not going to lose another place where she knew herself, where she was safe, and where her contribution could actually cover and blanket people. Because Jimmy Dale robbed her of a lot, and she has been fighting to get a lot of that back. And it just makes sense that her success with her business and her love relationship required that she have to face this other part that had not been addressed so that she could have more freedom.
To keep up with the Curvy Critic, like our page here, click that subscribe button, and click that bell for notifications. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.